Oh, my word, Scorpio. Scorpio, Scorpio, Scorpio. Where would I start with your reading? Now, for those of you who don't know, I'm a psychic medium as well as a TF and Union. If you're needing any bookings, the link is below. I do cover the astrology through this channel, as well as if you do subscribe during the sessions, you can ask free questions from a psychic medium. And I do also create spiritual tools to help you through any blockages, healing, chakras, which there's going to be more videos to come. I'm gradually trying to get on top of them, so bear with me. Now, if I do have time, you get a lot of jumpers. Okay, if I do have time, I will try and do a check-in romantically speaking for all of you guys. But these readings, you can look at your sun, moon, rising, and Venus, okay? Because this is the area highlighted of what's coming up with the moon phases this month, as well as a little bit of astrology, but how you're going to directly be relating to the energy. Now, last month in July 2019, we had the Cancer and Capricorn eclipse, and the house that came up for you guys is going to be relevant for 6 to 12 months. Now, it fell in the house for you guys, Scorpio, of your third house. Now, your third house covers your communication, self-expression, and short journeys. Now, with this energy, what you're going to find is what do Cancerians do, okay? It's reflecting backwards, because a lot of Cancerians do hold on to things, very sentimental, very much in their mind and their psyche when they think about things. So you might be reflecting back over your communication. And again, it is tribe mentality when we look at the zodiac sign of Cancer. So although this is about your zodiac sign, how it will directly relate to you will be previous communications and the way in which you were able to express yourself at a higher and a lower frequency. So whether somebody is communicating with you effectively or you're communicating, whether people are listening to you, the art of networking through this. So communication is going to be really important for you, and especially potentially with family members. Short journeys also can be on the cards between now and the end of the year, but really changing the cycle up of where you're moving, you know. This could be connected to transport. It could be connected to you physically taking trips or having to run a lot of errands, okay? And I'll just check if all the chat's there. Participants. The chat has changed on YouTube. If everyone's present, say hello. Now, with the Capricorn energy, it falls in your 9th house. Now, your 9th house, Capricorn is the energy potentially of like companies, banks, infrastructure, financial domains, businesses, government bodies. Hi, love. So for you guys, this does fall in your religion. So your actual belief system of what, you know, of what you need to achieve. And when it does come to finance as well, your belief systems, your upbringings, your education, what you've learned today, it might be your upskilling, foreign countries and travel. So again, there potentially could be some energies and areas where you will have movement. Your work could require a relocation. You energetically may need to travel for work, as well as these are going to be areas that are going to be triggered by the moon phases between now and the end of the year. So we're going to need to refer back to these areas. But a lot of your belief systems are changing and shaking up, and it might be you coming into the core of who you really are. Now, as I've mentioned in the previous videos, so do go have a look at your sun, moon, and rising, because this is going to help you understand what's transforming for you. Now, by the Leo moon, which we've already started that transit, right? The frequency of it's coming through all the way through to the 15th, 16th, and that's when the moon changes into Aquarius. So the first moon stage is going to be how you're going to be thinking about what you feel. It can be a point where triggers come up and miscommunication, but you're going to be reflecting on what's going to be right for you. And the house that this covers is your career, reputation, fame, or lack of, and the other parent. So this potentially could be hindering you, and you're looking at the situation going, if I'm wanting to manifest things in my life, A, how do I feel about these situations, my career, my reputation, my fame, or my lack of, due to situations that potentially you've communicated in the past, and your belief systems and your movement of where you want to go from here. So it can be a great deal of meditation coming through for you guys at this point, but it can be a subject matter you're having to deal with currently. Now, the card that you got for this area, our source is one of love and not condemnation. So your beliefs might be different to another person's. Can be your career, and all of a sudden you want to change and you're ready to walk through a door, okay? Some of you are concerned that you've wanted to be too many things to too many people, but you're looking in the mirror and you're reflecting back over, and I'm hearing in my head that Adele song, Hello. And, you know, if you do actually listen to the lyrics, again, communication, the Scorpios, the song sounds like it's about an ex-lover, but it's actually not. It's about you. And it's Adele's notion of reflecting back to the old version of herself, of who she used to be. And if she only knew what she knew now, she might have treated herself better. But she's now stepping into alignment of knowing what those things are. And be it that you had wanted to achieve certain things, it might have been that, you know, your energy is very intuitive. It's also very spiritual, and it has great psychic potentials. So some of you may be stepping into a totally different career field. Others of you might be feeling your career's being hindered due to obligations, belief systems and expectations, and it may be a perfect time for you guys to network. But you need to meditate before proceeding forward. Now, with the wounds, okay, we've got Chiron in retrograde, and it falls in your 6th house. Now, this again it's positive because it is connecting in with your work, your routine, your habits, and your health. Now, the Virgo moon at the end of the month is going to ask us to have a detox and look at the black and white of situations, make major decisions. It can be changing our diet, changing the way we do things, the way we operate, certain routines that are outdated, and really nurturing ourselves and networking with like-minded individuals, doing things that are potentially more healthy and less bothersome, so to speak. But being that it's in Aries is in Chiron, you're going to be reflecting on the power you have in that area, and it will be really, really coming to you in a mental download of things that are completely out of balance or things that you want to move towards, whether it be the things you want to put your energy into, or a job, a routine, a habit, or how your health is impacting. So you're tuning into yourself and you're taking direct accountability. Now, by the Aquarian moon, this falls in your 4th house. And it's interesting that this is occurring. Now, you may have experienced this vibration already, dependent upon how intuitive you are. And it seems quite natural that this is coming up. The Aquarian energy can be a battle of ego, especially with the frequency coming through of you versus them. And that's for all zodiac signs. We will be doing this by the 15th, 16th, moving forward. It falls in your 4th house, which it's like we're being asked to see, okay, we can see the flaws in the plan. I've tuned into myself by the Leo moon. Now with these areas of my downloads and my belief systems, the way I've tried to express and the way I've meditated after the expression, what now am I going to do? Can this be fixed? Falling in your 4th house, this is about the physical foundation, the psychological foundation, domestic related dynamics that are causing conflict, endings, and parents. So it can be your mother, your father. It can be you as a parent, your belief systems from childhood, high love, something that's really impacting you at a mental, physical level, and it's the foundation. So again, domestic related dynamics can be occurring on the home front. The point is, if it can be fixed, this is going to be a perfect time for you to assess whether it can be fixed, and it takes two to tango. The direct person, place, or thing, whatever this is for you that's coming up, whatever your belief systems are, they may very much be differing, but it's a time frame in which you can look at things and gain some perspective. And it's like she's got her hands in the air, and this is male or female, because this is just a sign at the moment of Scorpio, where the two hands are up in a sense, like, I don't know what to do. I can see what this is. There's conflict, which is the Aquarian moon. What are we going to do? You versus what another person wants, or you versus what other people, places, and things think or need. Can you mesh into that, knowing now who you are and what you feel? Now, that which is like onto itself is drawn, and it's like you may not want to attract any more problems into your environment, and you might have reached the end of your tether, and you're going, you know what? It could be that you're walking away from a situation to have a break. So you could be doing the polar opposite of what the astrology is doing, in a sense. It might be you already had the download and you're needing some time out. So you could be, due to the fact that you're feeling quite tired or got too much going on, you may need to retreat. But if it can be repaired, either A, the meditation will be done based on the situation if you're not around this person, people, places, or things, because it doesn't have to be a human being. It can be the conflict you're feeling connected to work or other areas. You're going to look into yourself as well as other people and see whether it's manageable, and you're going to make a judgment on it. And this is where the judgment comes for all of us in every zodiac sign. By mid-month, it'll be coming up pretty heavy. Again, I do say energy does tend to flow over. So similar to an eclipse, some people think, oh my gosh, you know, we listened to the astrology, the eclipse energy was coming through. And when we talk about tower moments, it can mean an ending of a situation or the breaking down of a foundation. It doesn't mean to say that when it's coming through in astrology, bang, it's happening on that day. You need to give it sometimes 2 to 3 weeks. That's why I'm mentioning last month's astrology. Because A, the eclipse holds the frequency of 6 months. It takes 6 months to do that cycle. You've also then got the energy similarly to these things. When they're coming up, they're dealt with, but there's things that are going to come up in areas that are going to be highlighted for you in your chart connected to your sign, Scorpio. So by the time you reach the Virgo moon, potentially if you've cut people, places, and things off because you're like, you know what, Barley's, it's because you assessed it, you attempted, and you know, the energies are working with you, or you're making a decision. By the Virgo moon, this is a time frame where a lot of us are going to need to detox because we're exhausted, tired, you know, moved through adversity or made major decisions. But it's where the Virgo moon is calling us to look at our health, and it's a super moon, which means it's going to be very strong. Health, sixth sense, balance, habits, routine, detox, your physical and psychological emotions, the restart button. You're getting to a point where you're looking at the black and white. And Virgo frequency, like I've mentioned in the other videos, is very much, okay, I'll buy what you're selling providing you can give me the evidence. And if you can't give me the evidence, I'm sorry, I will make my judgment and it'll be done. You know, because it's the black and white of the situation, getting really real. Again, it's prove it or, okay, I need to make a decision. But we could be going through a stage where we're so tired, we're being too hard on ourselves, you know, that maybe we're doing things that we didn't want to do. And it's not maybe that we don't want to do it, we may just not have the energy to do particular things. So you're going to have to really nurture yourself around this time. Although it's earth-based frequency, you've got to be really careful with your triggers. And it's because of Mars and Mercury. Mars and Mercury are really triggering us to look at things really differently. I'll just see if I had any extra notes. Yeah, you're just going to feel very different. I mean, it falls in your 11th house, and this is friends, clubs, aspirations, and associations. So I feel you're going to be networking. You're going to do things that are more pleasurable for you. The card you've got is, I'll envision the behavior I desire to inspire. It's like you're taking time out for you because the card's in reverse. You're not worried about what other people are doing. You've been leading by example for a very long time, and I feel you come to an acceptance space of who is and who isn't for you. So you're not focused on being the best person. You understand you're human, and you can't you can't be everything to everyone. And it's not your role to be them. It's the perfect version of you. And if you're having a crappy time, that's okay too. But I feel you're just going to be mixing with people that really do make you happy. And doing things in a pastime sense that are higher frequency. Now, I did pull cards for the Cancer and Capricorn energy that's going to affect you, and they're for the current energy moving through August only. And now when it comes to your communication, your self-expression, and your short journeys, you've got flawed premises can attract true unwanted evidence. Now, I feel you're not seeing the truth of people's communication. It's like their actions aren't matching their words, and you've tried to express your concerns. You've tried to express your hopes and dreams. Again, networking as well, the art of communication. You've been doing an awful lot, okay? But you're seeing the contrast. If you were to hear a false premises again and again until you yourself began to believe and repeat it, now your own activation of the contradictory vibration would interfere with your sense of intelligence. So it's like it's confusing you, because you've also, it could be that you've been hearing someone say something for a very long time and you've heard it so long you're like, it is going to be. But something hasn't changed in some shape or form. Or it could be that you've been saying, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. And then suddenly you're like, I just can't do it. But inside you're like, but I thought I said I could do it. Just an example. And so it becomes increasingly hard for you to call this a false premise when the evidence seems to be telling you that it is true. For over time, you have come to believe it is true. It's like, again, when the Capricorn energy comes in, it is about your religion and your belief systems. And I do feel that you're really shifting, because in the 9th house, you've got travel connected to this. The law of attraction is assembling happy relationships. The law of attraction might be taking your beliefs down a different road. You may have been brought up to believe a particular thing of what your role was. And that, again, is, religion can be a belief system too. What you've learned so far to date of what people needed of you, your abilities to be something more than what you think you can be due to conditioning. All of these things are a shake-up in your life that are about to change for the next 6 months. Now, you feel you've had pretty shitty luck. But like I say in the other readings, you're reflecting back and can be connected to 3 direct individuals who have caused you a great deal of conflict, or 3 times. But at the same time, you may have endured quite a lot of unhappy situations, 3 real major situations in your life. And you're sort of thinking this is normal, but the reality is good and bad people have good and bad luck, both sides, equal. It's just your ability to achieve and be successful is through your healing, as well as your mindset is crucial to you proceeding forward in a higher vibrational way. But I feel you're really fatigued, and I feel you unfortunately haven't had a lot, and it can be you haven't had a lot of positive people around you, something as simple as that. I don't feel it's going to directly impact you permanently. I think it's just a shift in energy you're going through. I'm going to pull some clarification cards. Now, I'm going to tune into how Scorpions that are males are relating to it, and then Scorpions that are females are relating to this astrology transit. Because I do feel that both parties are relating to it differently. Okay, I feel as though you guys were hoping that it would be a change for the better. In a family-related dynamic, in a way of reflecting back and, you communicating, self-expression, keep going, everything's going to be fine. You do know at some point it is going to be a change for the better, but it's actually a requirement now. It's where you've come to a space where it's now a requirement, because maybe something hasn't completely come to an end in a cycle sense, and you're like, you know what, something really needs to change in order for this to move forward. This can even be the need for communication on another person's side of the fence for you to see the truth of what this really is. Now, when it comes to these unhealthy situations, your belief system's changing, your movement, maybe you're wanting to, you know, and it can be travel. It bodes positively for travel, but whatever's going on in your life is to help you expand energetically. And it can be all of a sudden that you feel that a fresh beginning's needed, you're taking your power back, and it can also be networking and really just focusing on yourself. Focusing on your finances, focusing on yourself, so that you can believe in yourself again and do all the things that you believe are correct for you. It can also be that other people around you have been a little bit selfish, and now you feel that that is needed on your side of the fence. And I heard a oh, what's it called? It was like a spiritual speaker, a motivational speaker, and he was talking about the fact that it takes practice to get to a place where we can be quite detached. And detached, when I say to a point where if something isn't serving you, you can cut people, places, and things out of your life. And when you do that, it doesn't even have to mean that you don't love the person. It's you checking in with yourself. It can be your career. It can be a friend that's being mean, whatever that be, to the point where, how do I put it? If it's not serving you and it doesn't feel good and you're like, yeah, I'll assess it, and then it doesn't, you get to a space where you detach. And so it can look like you're quite cold, but it's necessary, because if you don't, you have to have a great relationship with yourself. That's basically what I'm saying. As long as you have a good relationship with you, because you're in a relationship with you for the rest of your life, that's all that matters, no matter what. Nobody should ever mean more than you. And it's, you know, the old saying goes, if mum ain't happy, ain't no one happy. You know, if you're not okay, no one's going to be okay, because no one can make you okay. But you've got to be okay with your life and your hopes and dreams and fill your cup. And I feel as though that's really high on your priority at the moment. Now, the Virgo moon with the black and white energy, it's like you're just needing time out. I really feel you're needing time out. Yeah, you're needing the movement. You're needing movement forward. You're feeling hindered. And it's interesting because theoretically, Mercury is in shadow. It does correlate with our communication, our technology, cars, transport, mishaps, and you can feel you've got a bit of bad luck, but you're going to be meditating on this by the end of the month. And again, with your communication coming through with the Cancer eclipse, again, Mercury energy, you're looking at things where, regardless of whatever someone's doing and all this stuff here, you need to heal from it. You need a bit of time out with your friends. Okay, let's see how the males are directly relating to this energy. Okay, the males are trying to get out of conflict. There could be a lot of conflict around them. Again, really trying to look at themselves and know what they're actually wanting. Wanting to get this happiness back and get the balance back in their life. But it's taking time, you know, it's taking longer than they had anticipated. And this is for those of you who are Scorpio men. I'm going to do the relationship part in the middle. Now, I do feel through each moon phase, the masculine energies are going to be highly intuitive when it does come to what they're feeling. And they're going to be taking each vibration on through each house. So they're going to look at themselves because they realize what this conflict is, that they're doing the work, especially with the Leo energy being in their career, their fame or lack of, that to get out of it, you've got to start digging yourself out, and they know this. Really trying to get the hope back, okay? And this can be with the Aries energy in Chiron, knowing that in order for some of these things to get back on track in your life and these intuitive energies that come through for you, they're needing to make real healthy choices, and this can be between the Aquarian and the Virgo moon. It is a time frame where, and I'm feeling as though there are some cruel people around you. It can be gossip, conflict, petty arguments. And again, this is between the Leo moon and the Aquarian moon. There can be conflict coming up, but the Aquarian moon is trying to give us the tools to see whether we can actually sort things out. But they won't quite be prepared for what's to come. And again, the Virgo moon's going to help all of us heal, but we need to listen and adhere to what our body is needing. Also, not being manipulated and seeing the truth of particular frequencies. And the Virgo moon's really going to help you do that, because they do look at detail. You know, they're like, oh, you're manipulating me here. No, I'm sorry. The Aquarian moon gives us the opportunity to see if we can actually make things work. And if they can't, the Virgo moon's going to help us cut people, places, and things off if they're not serving us. Okay, for the female energies that are Scorpio, how are you guys relating to this transit this month? You're taking a leap of faith. You're proceeding forward. You've got the Fool card. Okay? You're making major decisions. Interesting. Okay, so this is the 0 degree point in Tarot. This is when it's all come to an end. Something's changed. The whole you's going to change. You're like, no, you know, I wish I knew then what I know now. And I do feel that self-reflection had already been done. It was already there. It was just, you know, actually making a decision based on 3D evidence of what was occurring around you. To do with your career, to do with your friendship groups and things that you put on hold, potentially the travel and, you know, eat, pray, repeat, you know, Groundhog Day. And then suddenly, you know, vibrationally, you're really needing a break and your life needs to change. You're taking that leap of faith. And yes, there's infinite ways this can go, the reality, because that's really what 0 means. On the good and the bad, infinite ways in which this can have an outcome, because it's a fresh start. And even in astrology, when we see 0 degrees of any planet, it's a new beginning, but there's infinite ways this can come about because we haven't gathered our thoughts yet. You're going to, these feelings came through in August, but some of them have been there for a while, potentially from the beginning of the year. You know, with the Cancer Capricorn eclipses, they were relating to the beginning of the year and further back. And it's been this cycling out of situations we've been going through to proceed forward. Yeah, it can be a lot of intensity. It's because whatever you're doing, I can tell you, you're making a huge leap of faith. So whatever you're about to do or a decision you're about to make, it's going to change your whole world, but it's going to be a shake-up. So whatever that is achieving for you, it's for you to move towards your personal happiness and freedom of whatever that looks like. That can even be within business. It doesn't have to be just a relationship. It's any point in your chart that has been mentioned. Now, we're going to look at the romance of those of you who are connected or tuning into an individual and what's going on with that. Okay, some of you are really experiencing, now this is either you're meditating upon a past tense situation, because you have a lot of reversals, but not all of them are reversals. I'm going to get some clarifiers on these because this is looking pretty messy. Okay, your first card that you've got come out is Scarred Sexuality. You know, you may have felt very disrespected in intimate connections. You know, because this can be, because it takes a lot of trust to be intimate with a person, let's be real. And this is the romantic sector of the reading, okay? So with this, it may be that you're not with somebody, or if you're traveling, you won't be with this person, so you're unable to be intimate with them. Or it can be that you just are reflecting back. And this is the crowding energy, needing some time to heal over something, a situation, but needing some time out. Now, you've got communion in reverse as well. And again, it's connected to a very spiritual connection, but it's in reverse. Karma in reverse. Goddess of forgiveness upright. A bit of time out to meditate upon things, even if you know things do just happen and things haven't come about. And it could be you're focusing on two potential people, two potential scenarios, and the way this can go. You feel a masculine energy or a feminine, however it goes, but I'm feeling this is masculine, is not owning their power. And you're meditating on it. You're like, I forgive you, I understand, this is okay. But there's a lot of miscommunication here. I feel a lot of you are going to be mixing with people that make you happy, doing things that make you feel in high vibration. But again, there can be some things that come up for you that you don't see coming up. So there could be something of a pain body experience that comes up for you. And some of it you just, you know, if somebody doesn't want to look in the mirror, there's nothing you can do. And this can be on your side of the fence or their side, but I'm feeling it's elsewhere. And it's not even that you're abandoning them. And I mentioned this to a very close person, you know, because when we go through abandonment issues, they all relate back to childhood. But the abandonment related issues, 9 times out of 10 from childhood, when we're in a connection and there's an aspect of a codependent frequency going on in it, it's like their need requires you to be a particular way. But the abandonment isn't that you or they abandon you. It's that we abandon our own power because we always had it. But something in you's shifting. You do get a lot of... Yeah. I feel you guys are making a major decision. I'll just be honest. This can just be healing of a past tense love interest. But at the same time, it may be someone who you're not with currently, who you're not talking to. You got throat chakra reverse. And I hope that isn't lagging. It's driving me crazy today. Mercury shadow. You're not even worried about laws of attraction affecting karma on people. You're just focusing on, can I have some good luck now? You intuitively know how something's going to go and that you need to find peace and forgiveness, and you're going to need a little bit of time, whatever that be. But you feel that this masculine energy needs to get in touch with how they're actually feeling, so you're trying to give them some space for perspective. This miscommunication that's going on, I feel that the female energy in this connection, once she gets back into her high vibrational self, is somehow energetically going to shift this. But because you're focusing on yourself to give yourself the love, because we can't fill another person's cup if we can't fill ours. It's the reality of it. And that can shift very quickly. Now, you stepping into alignment, females, in the relationship or the person you're tuning into, this will cause a bit of fears in this other person, be it with them or not. They feel that frequency. But this is to help them do shadow work and look at their inner fears. And it helps both of you, really. Now, the abandonment related issues, you know, if you're getting triggered and you're feeling other people's vibrations, because empaths feel people's vibrations, right? You're going to either make a physical decision to leave someone out in the cold, or you're making a decision for you to just focus on you at the minute. But there can be a left or right. Some of this can be past tense energy where you're coming to closure with what happened in the past. Any questions? But the cords that are going to be cut is more the codependent patterning. Any questions while we're here? I have done the Libran video, Dal. Go and have a look at it. I can answer a 1 or 2 questions in relation to the transit and what you can experience. But I have given an in-depth reading in there, and I've still got about 5 videos to do. At the moment, you'll find during this transit, any miscommunication that comes up is going to solve it. But it will help. So the Scorpion energy, so you guys are trying to balance things out in your life. But at the same time, you know, you probably do need to do a little bit of healing and not stress too much. You're going to have an opportunity by mid-month to actually see if you can balance things out. But at the same time, you know, we need to be really cautious during this transit, because with the Leo energy coming through at the beginning of the month through to the 16th, it can look like we're quite self-centered, but it's not bad. It's what we need to do to understand what we want separate from others. And then when we get to the Aquarian moon, which is between the 15th and the 16th, that's when you're going to see whether you and that person can merge to a point where it can work, and you'll start doing the work to balance things out. Okay? And then the healing will come by the end of the month, where you need to nurture yourself and recoup, and there could have been mishaps and, you know, faulty communication, but it will settle down. It's just trying to get balance through that transit. I hope that helps. Okay, I shall be back soon.